Time after time you try to take this castle, but you'll never succeed, Skeletor.
Call your champion.
It looks like the upcoming years are shaping up to be incredibly exciting for superhero and sci-fi fans, with a whole bunch of major projects lined up. From Superman's next big adventure in Man of Tomorrow to epic MCU events like Avengers Secret Wars and ambitious live-action adaptations like Gundam and Akira, there's a ton to look forward to. So, let's dive in and see what's coming. Masters of the Universe. Almost 40 years after the last live-action attempt, Amazon MGM Studios is bringing Masters of the Universe back to the big screen, aiming to breathe new life into the franchise. It's always been tricky to get this series right, so some fans are worried about the reboot, but one of the cast members recently dropped a comment that suggests the studio might actually understand the tone it needs to hit. The 2026 movie, directed by Travis Knight, who previously helmed Kubo and the Two Strings and Bumblebee, stars Nicholas Galitzine as the iconic He-Man. The cast is rounded out by Camila Mendes, Idris Elba, Jared Leto, Alison Brie, and Marina Baccarin, giving it a mix of rising stars and established names. Masters of the Universe has always had a goofy, over-the-top energy, and there were rumors the reboot might take itself too seriously. But Alison Brie, who's playing Evil Lynn, seemed to push back on that idea in a recent Collider interview, suggesting that the film won't stray too far from the fun, campy charm of the original series. The world of He-Man is inherently over the top, with sword-wielding heroes, ridiculous villains, and catchphrases like, "I have the power!" that are as corny as they are iconic. Brie's comments indicate that the filmmakers get that this charm is essential. Fans don't want a grim, serious adaptation. They want a movie that captures the energy and colorful tone that made the original cartoons and toys memorable. So far, the only image released is a silhouette of Galitzine in his He-Man outfit, which nods to Dolph Lundgren's 1987 look, but also leans into the cartoonish style. The story adds a small twist. Prince Adam starts on Earth before returning to his home planet of Eternia to take on the mantle of He-Man. It's a minor change, but helps introduce audiences to the universe gradually, letting them explore this fantastical world alongside the main character, similar to the way Harry Potter started in the mundane world before moving into the magical one. Knight's previous work, especially on Bumblebee, shows he knows how to balance a colorful, cartoony vibe with live-action spectacle, which bodes well for this reboot. With a script by Chris Butler and producers like Todd Black, Jason Blumenthal, Steve Tisch, and Robbie Brenner, Masters of the Universe is set for a June 5, 2026 release. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem sequel. TMNT Mutant Mayhem brought the Turtles back into the spotlight in August 2023, and the sequel is officially on the way. TMNT Mutant Mayhem 2 will follow Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello as they face even bigger challenges in New York City. The sequel keeps the same CGI animation style and youthful energy that made the first film such a hit, with the original voice cast returning. Seth Rogen, who co-wrote and produced the first movie, confirmed in July 2024 that production is going smoothly. The animatic is already complete, and while he didn't reveal the official title just yet, the release date is locked for October 9, 2026. The cast includes Micah Abbey as Donatello, Shimon Brown Jr. as Michelangelo, Nicholas Cantu as Leonardo, and Brady Noon as Raphael. Jackie Chan is returning as Splinter, Io Adebri reprises April O'Neil, and Maya Rudolph's Cynthia Ultram is expected to have a bigger role this time. The sequel is also introducing the Turtles' most famous villain, Shredder, whose connection to Cynthia and his history with Splinter will likely drive much of the conflict. The story will build on both the first movie and the Paramount Plus series, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which bridges the gap between the two films. That show has been developing the Turtles' teamwork and hinting at a broader world of threats, so the sequel is expected to expand on that while keeping the same fun, energetic tone. Avengers Doomsday. Avengers Doomsday is shaping up to be one of the biggest MCU events yet. Whenever Marvel labels a film Avengers, the stakes are enormous, and Doomsday seems no different. These ensemble movies are the moments where storylines collide, secrets are revealed, and the scale of action ramps up to the max. Originally, Kang the Conqueror was supposed to be the main villain, similar to Thanos in the Infinity Saga. But after Jonathan Majors ran into legal trouble in 2023, Marvel had to rethink the story. The result was a new title, Avengers Doomsday, which immediately got fans speculating. At San Diego Comic-Con 2024, Marvel confirmed that the Russo brothers would return as directors and surprised audiences by announcing Robert Downey Jr. would be back, not as Iron Man, but as Victor Von Doom. That twist alone set fan theories running wild. The cast is enormous, combining returning Avengers like Thor, Captain America Sam Wilson, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi, and Black Panther with Namor, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, and some of the original X-Men cast, including Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Rebecca Romijn, James Marsden, and Kelsey Grammer. Channing Tatum is also finally stepping in as Gambit. With such a stacked lineup, the movie clearly aims to rival Infinity War and Endgame in scope. Even with all this star power, production hasn't been completely smooth. Reports surfaced about a heated confrontation between two of the film's biggest actors, possibly connected to creative differences during a key ensemble scene. While the specific actors haven't been named, sources indicate the situation was resolved quickly, and filming has continued on schedule. Alan Cumming, reprising Nightcrawler, spoke about his experience on Doomsday, calling it healing compared to filming X2 X-Men United in 2003. He described X2's production as grueling, with long makeup sessions and a tough environment under Bryan Singer. This time, though, the set was friendlier, schedules were smoother, and makeup was easier, which made returning to superhero stunts surprisingly enjoyable at 60. Cumming even hinted at potential scenes where Nightcrawler could clash with Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic, teasing some exciting interactions. Avengers Doomsday is scheduled for a December 18, 2026 release, promising to be a massive, character-packed, high-stakes entry in the MCU, combining returning favorites with new faces, intense battles, and the kind of crossover action that fans love. Clayface. Clayface is shaping up to be one of DC Studios' most intriguing upcoming projects, with Tom Rhys-Harries officially landing the lead role. The film is being directed by James Watkins and is slated to release on September 11, 2026, which positions it just a month after Supergirl hits theaters. Harries is best known for Apple TV's Suspicion alongside Uma Thurman and has appeared in The Gentleman and Kandahar. He beat out strong contenders like Jack O'Connell, Tom Blythe, and George McKay for this role, which marks a major step for him into the world of DC's live-action projects. The film will be shooting at Warner Bros. Leavesden in the UK, and Harries will be taking on Clayface, one of Batman's most iconic villains. Clayface first appeared in Detective Comics number 40 back in 1940, and over the years has evolved into a shape-shifting antagonist with a deeply tragic origin. Originally a struggling actor, he turned to crime after an accident left him with a clay-like, malleable body that makes him both dangerous and visually striking. While Clayface has been featured in animated series, video games, and comics for decades, this will be his biggest live-action moment, which makes it a highly anticipated addition to the DC slate. The project has a powerhouse team behind it. James Gunn and Peter Safran are producing alongside Matt Reeves, known for The Batman, while the script started with Mike Flanagan before revisions by Hossein Amini. Harries, who trained at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama and has strong theater experience, will bring Clayface's complexity and darkness to life, balancing both his tragic past and his menacing presence. Because the character is so multi-layered, this film has the potential to stand out among DC's roster of villain-centric stories. The Batman Part 2. The Batman Part 2 is officially set to release on October 1, 2027, after a delay from its original 2025 date. Robert Pattinson returns as Gotham's Dark Knight, joined again by Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, Andy Serkis as Alfred, and Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Farrell's role is especially interesting because his character's arc in the Max spin-off series will feed directly into the film. Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman remains uncertain, and Barry Coogan's Joker is still unconfirmed, though Kristen Miliotti's Sophia Falcone is rumored to play a major role. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but speculation suggests Hush, aka Thomas Elliot, could be the central villain, with Clayface also a strong possibility. Reeves hasn't ruled out introducing Robin either. The script is already complete, and production is expected to start in spring 2026, giving the team plenty of time for post-production before the release. The Batman Part 2 continues Reeves' epic crime saga, which exists outside James Gunn's new DCU, meaning it has its own continuity. With the Penguin series already setting up Oz's rise to power and potential spin-offs focusing on Gotham City Police Department or Arkham Asylum, Reeves is clearly building a grounded, trilogy-spanning vision of Gotham. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is scheduled for June 25, 2027, as the final chapter in Sony's Miles Morales animated trilogy. The film faced delays due to the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, pushing it from its original March 2024 release to mid-2025 before finally settling on 2027. The story picks up right after the cliffhanger ending of Across the Spider-Verse, with Miles trapped on Earth-42 and confronting his alternate self as the Prowler, while Spider-Gwen rallies allies across the Spider-Verse to rescue him. Early footage shown at CinemaCon 2025 revealed Miles struggling against the Prowler, dealing with the weight of destiny, and continuing the trilogy's focus on challenging canon and exploring personal choice. The voice cast brings back familiar favorites, including Shameik Moore as Miles, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, Issa Rae as Jessica Drew, Daniel Kaluuya as Spider-Punk, Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, and Jason Schwartzman as The Spot. Other returning voices include Brian Tyree Henry, Luna Lauren Velez, Mahershala Ali, Andy Samberg, Amandla Stenberg, John Mulaney, and Kimiko Glenn. While no new cast members have been confirmed, the multiverse setup leaves plenty of room for surprise appearances, including live-action Spider-Men like Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, or Tobey Maguire. The creative team, including co-directors Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, Bob Pereschetti, and Justin K. Thompson, have promised an emotional and satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. Producer Christopher Miller described it as a true trilogy closer in the vein of The Empire Strikes Back leading into Return of the Jedi, highlighting both the stakes and the character growth for Miles. Composer Daniel Pemberton acknowledged the pressure to deliver a finale that lives up to the groundbreaking series. Beyond the trilogy, Sony is already planning a Spider-Punk spin-off, expanding the Spider-Verse brand even further. Because of the combination of a strong returning cast, creative directors, and a multiverse story allowing for high stakes and cameos, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is shaping up to be a visually dynamic, emotionally resonant, and narratively satisfying conclusion to Miles Morales' journey, while leaving doors open for new adventures in the Spider-Verse. Man of Tomorrow. The DCU is gearing up for another major Superman project with Man of Tomorrow, expected to hit screens in 2027. Even though it won't be a direct follow-up to Gunn's Superman movie, it's shaping up to be his next big story in this continuity. What's got fans buzzing is the hint about the main villain. Back in September 2025, James Gunn shared a photo of the second draft of the script for Man of Tomorrow. On the cover, alongside his name and the original Superman creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, there was a curious diagram showing the anatomy of a human head, detailing the brain, throat, and mouth. That little detail immediately sparked speculation online, with many fans connecting it to Brainiac, one of Superman's most iconic foes who has the power to control minds. Brainiac has been a fan-favorite villain for decades, but has never had a proper live-action moment on the big screen. That subtle script clue made it seem like this could finally be his chance. Brainiac works well for the story because it's already been teased that Superman and Lex Luthor might have to form an uneasy alliance. Having a villain like Brainiac forces them to set aside their differences, at least temporarily, because his threat level is huge. This also gives the DCU a chance to expand in a bigger, more cosmic direction. Supergirl already touches on outer space and alien worlds, so bringing Brainiac in feels like a natural progression for the franchise's scope. In addition, Brainiac has a long history in the comics, ranking alongside Lex Luthor, Darkseid, and Doomsday as one of Superman's greatest adversaries. While those other villains have had their film moments, Brainiac hasn't really been explored in a live-action setting, which makes him feel both familiar and fresh at the same time. If he ends up being the villain, it could lead to some epic confrontations, with Superman and Luthor forced into a partnership that challenges both their strengths and weaknesses. Man of Tomorrow is set for July 9, 2027, and all signs point to it being a key entry in the DCU. Avengers Secret Wars. Marvel is also gearing up for a massive event with Avengers Secret Wars, scheduled for December 17, 2027. Directed by the Russo brothers, this movie will close out Phase 6 and the Multiverse Saga, acting as both an ending and a fresh start for the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. will return as Doctor Doom, with major heroes like the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, and even the Thunderbolts expected to appear. The story draws heavily from the 2015 Secret Wars comics, where the multiverse faces collapse due to incursions, and Doctor Doom uses the Beyonders' power to create Battleworld, a patchwork planet made of pieces from shattered realities. Heroes and villains are forced into life-or-death battles until the Avengers step in to challenge Doom. Marvel has already teased the foundation for this in films like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, and Deadpool and Wolverine, making it feel like one of the biggest events since Endgame. Gundam. Shifting to sci-fi, Gundam is preparing for a live-action adaptation, though the journey has been anything but smooth. The original anime debuted in 1979, created by Yoshiyuki Tomino, and has grown into a massive franchise with countless adaptations. Legendary Pictures and Bandai Namco first announced a live-action project in 2018, with Netflix and Jordan Vogt Roberts initially involved. Since then, the project has seen some changes, with Netflix and Vogt Roberts leaving and Jim Mickle stepping in to direct and co-write. Mickle, known for the Netflix series Sweet Tooth, is bringing a fresh approach, though this change means the release will likely be delayed. Even though it's later than expected, fans can still hope to see the iconic mecha brought to life on the big screen. Akira. Similarly, Akira has been on the radar for Hollywood adaptations for decades. The original manga and animated film, created by Katsuhiro Otomo, debuted in 1988 and became a worldwide classic, influencing countless works in animation and cyberpunk fiction. Sony first acquired live-action rights in the 1990s, but the project shifted to Warner Brothers and then faced multiple delays due to budget issues and creative changes. Taika Waititi became attached as director in 2019, co-writing with Michael Golamco, but production has been on hold as Waititi handled Thor: Love and Thunder. Recent updates suggest the project hasn't been abandoned, but is patiently evolving behind the scenes. With the same creative team staying on board, fans are optimistic that Akira could finally make the leap to live action, potentially bringing Neo Tokyo to cinemas in a way that honors its legacy while adding new cinematic flair. Any upcoming casting announcements, production dates, or concept art will be a big deal, because the property has been stalled for decades and has a massive fan following eagerly waiting to see it realized. Well, that's it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.